Let's talk about three of the most common support businesses that you're going to find operating in the startup community. You're going to engage with incubators, accelerators, and co-working spaces on the regular, I'd imagine. Whether you bump into them at an event, whether you meet somebody that's advertising that a new application is open, whether you're talking to other founders and they're talking about Y Combinator or Techstars or some other upcoming due date for some big, huge accelerator or incubator, or maybe they just joined a new co-working space that's hosting new events. There's always a reason where these three kind of entities or kind of archetypes show up. So let's talk about what they are. So first and foremost, we have incubators. Now, incubators and accelerators look a little similar from the outside, and often they play in the same field, but fundamentally they have pretty different value props. Incubators, I think of them more like machines, ongoing, forever going machines. The real big thing that they do is they provide this mentorship, this guidance, this value of we have an early stage business, we need support, we want someone to incubate, to protect, to nurture, to grow, to provide resources and ongoing support, typically without an end date. These are places where you're going to have a co-working space and likely be based out of there for the foreseeable future. These are places that may take a decent amount of equity depending on the nature of the relationship that you have with the incubator, because of course they're providing a lot of resources to you. They're not always investing, like writing a big check, but they are often putting in a lot of time and energy and, again, just general resources like letting you use their real estate. That has a cost, of course. On the other side, you have accelerators. Accelerators are very much like the market standard, meaning more than likely, if you're in the startup space, you're going to apply to something like an accelerator at some point. These are much more intense, fixed term programs that really focus a lot on education, mentorship slash community, get advice from the mentors and meet different people, whether it's your fellow founders, fellow people from the community, alumni, whatever it might be. And last but not least, investment. The big ones are going to be, of course, the Techstars, the Y Combinators, the 500 startups, the places where you're getting a 4, 5, 6 figure check, a big investment for predetermined terms at an early stage that help you move forward in the way that you need to. So accelerators can be a great spot to be. The big thing to be mindful of is stage, industry, and requirements. Because if they're working on the early stage, don't apply if you're a late stage. If they are focused on healthcare and you're a fintech, unless you're doing healthcare fintech, it's probably not the best accelerator for you. There are probably better ones that can better engage with you and offer you value. One thing to really kind of keep in mind as you explore the accelerator world is cost. There are some that are free, and in fact, they invest in you. They write you a big old check. There are some that cost equity. There are some that cost cash. There are some that cost both. I'm a big fan of aligning value, and I don't think that paying for the average accelerator, as far as if you're going for an in-person, your experience, like they should be writing a check in you. They should be investing in you. That's part of their value of this. We're taking equity in your business. We're taking ownership. We're using you to grow our base. Here's how we're providing value. So if you feel like your accelerator is a little too expensive, it just might be. And especially if you're writing an equity check or a cash check, or especially if you're writing both, make sure you're not writing too big of a check that isn't worth the value that you're actually getting out of the accelerator, which is ultimately the exchange that you need to be conscious of. Last but not least, co-working spaces. Co-working spaces are a big deal. They're cheap real estate, they're cheap office, they're great access to community. A lot of accelerators and incubators are based or structured like them. So that way at these co-working spaces, they'll host an accelerator, whether it's full-time, part-time, some of the year, multiple iterations of it, whatever it might be. So these spaces are very, knitted together with the incubators and the accelerators, and of course the venture capitalists that touch all of this. But they offer their own work. They're, like a WeWork. They have space. They want to get offices booked. They want to have conference rooms booked. They want to have community. So they're often hosting events and talks and panels and pitch nights. So if you don't know where to go and you're looking for places to get engaged, especially to incubators or accelerators, more than likely your local startup entrepreneurship type co-working space is going to have a lot of those contacts and relationships and be hosting events where those types of people come to engage and network and build community. So As you look at the different businesses that are supporting and you come across incubators, accelerators, and co-working, think about what resources, what tools, what information you need and which can best help you along your journey.